Hi everyone, Michael from Infinikey here, and thanks for joining us for today's keyboard building tutorial. We have many teams of Androids tuning in from all around the world to build one of these keyboards for the first time. This is of course a custom designed keyboard and keycaps made specifically for the Android teams in celebration of the latest software updates. It of course has the custom keycaps with the colorway of Android, Android's logo, iconic symbols, our favorite little mascot here for Android, and other aspects of the entire experience like the keyboard badge and the packaging, all custom designed for this team as well. We've been working with dozens of teams at Google over the last few years to provide a unique mechanical keyboard building experience where we customize keycaps and keyboards for their teams and host online building tutorials like this. We are of course hosting a live event to show people in real time and answer questions in person of what this process is, but also wanted to record this video in case people at the company and the public wanted to follow along and see if they missed any steps or refer back for any other resources after the event. So let's put this keyboard to the side and open up the package so everyone understands what is in the box and what they can expect. Each participant will be receiving a box with everything they need to put together a full custom mechanical keyboard. When you open the box, you'll be greeted with 2 boxes of switches of your choice. It'll be either tactile or linear switches. Here we went with the AKKO wine whites. You'll have the keycap set that we developed for Android as well, and the keyboard in the custom Android sleeve. With the keyboard, keycaps, and switches, in this tutorial alone, within about 30 minutes, even a beginner to mechanical keyboards will be typing away at their first custom board in no time. For now, we'll be exploring the keyboard itself, so you can put the switches and the keycaps to the side. We'll have a quick look at the sleeve. We have, of course, the custom keyboard event for the team here, taking the assets. And for this build, we chose the ACR Pro 75. It's 75% acrylic board that has some nice custom elements to it, as we'll see inside. The first thing you'll see is a user manual that goes through the shortcuts on the keyboard to change lighting or perform different commands. There is dedicated software that you can search for online on AKKO's website to do things like changing layers or different keystrokes. So be sure to check that out after the keyboard is built. You have this foam as well. This can be put inside the keyboard. If you open up the back bottom of the case, there's a little bit of dampening foam in case you want to bring the sound volume a little bit down within the office or even at home. And of course, we have the full keyboard. You can go ahead and remove it from the sleeve. And you have a thin film, if you haven't already noticed, that you can remove on the keyboard that protects the badge right now. In the top compartment, you'll find a number of different components that you'll need at different stages of the process. We have the USB-C cord for connecting it to your laptop or computer. We have a key switch puller, which helps you remove switches from the hot swap PCB. In the same bag, you have an Allen key for the screws in the back. And finally, a switch puller and extra gaskets for the inside of the keyboard. You won't need the components for now, so you can go ahead and put that back in as we get ready to assemble the keyboard. Now let's get into the details of the keyboard itself. Everything we've chosen here, the keyboard, the installation, the different components with the keyboard, were designed with newcomers in mind for office and remote use. The keyboard, the ACR Pro 75, is a milled acrylic keyboard featuring pre-installed stabilizers, which hold the longer keycaps in place, a polycarbonate plate, which helps dampen the sound, produce a nice, pleasant sound effect, and hold the switches in for your typing experience. As the number suggests, there are many different sizes of mechanical keyboards, a 75% being the sweet spot between more compact boards like the 60% or the 65% without the F-row, and somewhat more compact and more manageable than the larger typical and traditional sizes of keyboards, such as the slightly larger TKL and of course the full-size keyboard with the numpad that you see on traditional desktops. For the PCB, back here under the plate that registers the key presses into your computer or laptop, we've gone with a hot swap PCB. Traditional PCBs require you to solder the switch into the PCB. Now that of course is very time consuming and requires a bit of finesse and skill. So we made things a bit easier for newcomers using a hot swap, meaning you can just pop the switches in. Once they're snug in place, they will register the key press without any other assembly or manufacturing. Go ahead and open up your switch boxes. You will have received one of either a linear type of switch or tactile one, and you'll require 2 boxes to cover your full keyboard. For this demonstration, we went with a bit of an on-color choice with the wine whites, and AKKO has been gracious enough to package them so neatly and tidily like this for our keyboard build. These are the wine whites, a soft tactile switch to put into the keyboard. If you look closely at the bottom of the switch, you'll notice 2 metal pins sticking out. These 2 pins will be aligned with the top of the board. You can see the 2 smaller pin holes on the top side, and all you'll want to do is make sure that the pins are towards the top, aligned with those holes, and press down straight as possible, and should just snap right in place without too much resistance. You'll repeat the process, of course, for each of the sockets before putting on the keycaps. If you feel any resistance or feel as if you've put in the switch incorrectly, go ahead back into the tools and take out the switch puller. These will clamp on the top and bottom of the switch. You'll feel a little bit of an indent that you can grab onto and just tug the switch out. We'll test the switches later once all are in and the caps are on, but it's very likely that a couple or more of the switches will have bent pins, meaning the pins don't go in properly, they might bend, they might scrunch up, and you'll want to fix them or replace them with another switch in order for them to register properly into the keyboard. Once you're done with the switches, we'll go ahead and snag the keycap box to put and install those on top of all the switches. You'll see the keycap box here, again, designed with Android's colors and assets in mind. More information about Infinikey. Go ahead and open up this box and we'll start to place the keycaps onto the key switches. And there we have it, a fresh box of custom keycaps to put onto your new Android board. You'll notice that there are traditional and consistent colors for the accent keys. You'll see those novelties in the back of the keycap set. For example, 1 and 3 right here. Once all the switches are on, you'll want to take, of course, the corresponding keycap, and you can refer to your laptop as to where the exact letters should go. And for example, put this G where the G should be on the keyboard. You have a few different accent colors to choose from, such as keeping the enter key consistent with the alphas and choosing that color over the green Android enter. At the end of the process, you'll have a board just like this one with full coverage of your 75%. For the next step, you'll want to plug in your keyboard and make sure each key press is registering correctly into the device. If for whatever reason, a certain key isn't registering, such as this H, it most likely means that the switch is improperly seated into the keyboard. What you'll want to do is take off the keycap with this keycap puller. And sometimes the switch will just pop out with it if the socket is loose. If not, you'll want to pull the switch out again as we showed earlier on. Now, this is a proper switch with both pins upwards, but it's very likely that a switch that does not register has pins that are either bent like this, so you can see the back one is not bent up straight, or in a kind of an accordion shape, or it's completely ruined. For a slight bend like this one, all you need to do is push this back up so it looks somewhat vertical again. And if that's too difficult for how the pin is bent, you can go ahead and grab one of the extra switches to put back into the device and seat the cap again. And that's it. You've built your first full mechanical keyboard. We've linked the software and the description of the product in the description below, and you can explore the rest of this channel and our material on Infinikey to learn more about custom everything when it comes to mechanical keyboards. A big thank you to the team leads at Google and the Android teams for hosting this event, and we're looking forward to creating more unique keyboard experiences for Google Teams in the near future. If you're a company or team discovering these keyboard events for the first time, check out one of our links below about team keyboard events and marketing events with mechanical keyboards. This was Michael. See you next time.